If you're like me, by this point in the journey, you'd like to just kind of go away and just let things take place without you. But I want to encourage you that you and I have a very important role to play. We have a part to play in all that's taking place. One time a pastor in Scotland was experiencing some persecution, was also just experiencing some difficult times. And he was reminded that there was a Scottish proverb that says, "You can duck and allow the wave to pass over you." When he was told that proverb, he looked at the person who said that to him and said, "When it comes to the cause of Christ, you can never duck and let things pass by you." I want to remind you as we walk through these times together that you and I are in an incredibly important place as God has allowed us to be a part of His working. The verse that comes to mind today is the verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Paul says immediately before the verse that I want us to zero in, he says this: "Thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ." And then he says, based upon the victory, listen to what he says. He says this: "Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters," and he's writing to people who are undergoing challenges in their church and in their community, and he gives them three directions. And so I give you these very quickly. He says, "Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, first of all, be steadfast." I encourage you to keep walking with Christ. The second thing he says is be immovable. My challenge to you is to hang on to the promises of God, to stick with what you know is true. We know that God is faithful. We know that God is at work. We may not always understand it, but we have those great confidences in our lives. And so he tells us, be steadfast, be immovable, and then finally he says this: "and always abounding in the work of the Lord." I want to challenge you as we walk through these days. Not only is God at work, but you and I always want to remember that God is using us. So continue to do what God's called you to do. Make a call, be an encouragement, smile, do something for someone else. And I encourage you that as you are an encouragement to others, God will encourage you in your walk with Him. And so I'll leave you with this challenge. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, be steadfast, keep moving forward, be immovable, hold on to the truths that you know, and be always abounding in the work of the Lord. And then he says this: "because you know that your labor in the Lord is never in vain." May God bless you in the days ahead.